Um, Close this. This is good. Well, bad. Bad, good. Disconnecting from this one, and now I'm going to try to open this on the PC. I have to plug the stick in over here. It's that damn game. Anything about BlazBlue. Game capture. Duh. Turning off the Steam Deck. Plugging my stick into the back of my keyboard because I don't feel like going under my desk. Great. Yes. Yes, this is what I agreed to do. Okay. Look, I've got sound. Redo, because for some reason it didn't detect my stick. Here, I'm gonna put this. What the hell are all these? Okay. Okay, I got it. Good. What? Fillet mignon? Fillet of fish. I ordered wings, so it's all good. I understand your pain. I guess they're not pains. The price we pay, it's, you know, the cost of being an American. Proud to be an American. I say, is there just no sound here? It's just really quiet. That's fine. Options, button settings, battle. Okay. I used to do the thing where I would go to like McDonald's for like, what was it? I would go to McDonald's for their fries, and then I would go to like Wendy's for their nuggets, like across the street, and it always felt bad. I found out I'm not the only person that does this, so I'm playing on PC because I was trying to play this game on the Steam Deck, and it wasn't connecting. Also, yes, Merry Christmas Eve. Merry almost Christmas. This room looks really dumb. It's just what this is, I guess. This room looks incredibly stupid because there's nothing here. I guess you just, get stuff. Don't have Wi-Fi for the PC. Okay. What's going on here? No. I'm gonna be these dumb characters. I guess there's no character I want to be. Crisis approaching. We have voices, we just don't have music. Rebel 1, action! Making my own anime music. Oh, come on, man. I thought when I selected technical, I have to choose style 2 because style 1 is not the one I changed the controls for. Alrighty then. See, where is, oh my gosh, I can't. All right, okay, I got it, I understand now. Oops, I have to start typing in all caps at all times. Be that guy.
Please select your character.
Tsubaki.
Bullet.
Oh, what the? Why is it like this? When I choose I choose technical, it should give me the option to choose the controls that I have. Give me the default controls, which is technically fine if I'm using a controller. I can get used to it here, but it's just not the controls I would use.
The wheel of fate is turning. Rebel 1. Action.
I mean, I won the last match. It's just that I don't like the controls I'm using. I went into the menu and I changed them before I got into this match. And they don't, like, before when I was playing on the Steam Deck, they gave me the option, like, you want to use controls 1 or 2. I don't even know, like, I haven't played BlazBlue in forever. I have no clue what I'm doing in these games. This is whatever, it's just a damn fighting, it's an anime fighting game, I'll be right. Like, I know there's air dashes. I have no clue what to do. I don't understand why I can't change my controls. Where is it at? Let's check here. Maybe I can do it here? I can't do it here. What the f— oh, man. Let me see. There's one button difference, but it feels weird. It's like if you play, like if you look at, oh, I should closed it anyway. So I swear I went into here and I did this, and I went to button settings for battle. Then I set that to this. This is here, but it doesn't show up. Why? I guess I'll just switch them both. Whatever. Oh, that's not what I want that on. There we go. Strange. Strange. I don't want to do this. I want to do training mode.
Please select your character.
Did you just see that? Did you see that? The thing that just happened right there. This wasn't there. Why wasn't this there before? When you go to this, maybe I just didn't see it. So these controls should be, it should be an option. So if I set the type B controls, I can just press down, go to type B. But it wasn't showing me this. It was just going to type A. You put a fart on the same tier. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Arakune.
That is my answer. It's just Merry Christmas. How do I get the music to be? There's cool anime music in this game, I'm sure of it. Well, how did this get down to 1? At what point did I ever do that? I probably went up too high. I thought I said like 80. Holy smokes. People are shooting out fireworks. Awesome. Now I can hear this music. I want to put on mute. Put it back down to 1, but now I know. A valuable distinction. Alright, what are we doing?
Please select your character.
I remember seeing this character. This is the last thing I remember about this game, or any of these games. I remember seeing these characters in the games, and I was like, this has gone beyond me. It was her, this character, there were a few characters that they added over time, and I was like, who are these people? What is this series now? Her. They added her hours or ages ago. It's been a while since one of these games has come out, but
Please select your character.
alright, so I'm going to go. We're going to try to find this thing. Go down here. Right? Here.
A Mercury.
Okay, it is here. I just wasn't seeing it. You press up and down right here. It just blends in because you see technical and stylish.
Lychee Fei Ling.
Oops. About to get banned.
Action.
gotta fix these. Fix these damn man. All right, let me see if I can. I can't switch this game over to another monitor. I need to go in here. Set this to 1080p. Select the resolution. It doesn't give me an option. I know what I want to do. Fix. Background on Windows. Okay, background. How about this one? Fill? Span? Okay, I'm going to switch my primary monitor over to my 1080p monitor so I can see more of the chat. Okay. Why is this thing so damn high? This is fine. Fuck it. Fuck it. Whatever. Leave it alone.
Please select your character. Bang Shishigami. Bullet.
God damn, dude. Okay. Let's go over here. Alright, cool.
Zengyokudeku. The wheel of fate is turning.
I'm gonna switch the camera for myself at some point.
Action.
I don't know what's going on. Is that grab? Is it medium and hard? Why? Strange. Whatever. Fucking anime. How do I do something cool?
Please select your character. Carl Clover.
I can't click out of the window. Just stuck.
Nishiki. The wheel of fate is turning. Rebel 1. Action.
Oh boy. I don't get it. I don't understand BlazBlue, man. So much shit happening all the time in these games. I remember back when it was new, it was like, oh, once I realized, like, oh, every character has a gimmick. Every character has a gimmick, which is a lot of fighting games or something like that. It was like, early on, it was overwhelming. But like, like now there's so much, so many characters, and everybody does something weird or whatever. It's, man, hard to keep track of. There was one that just looked like a person wearing something. Where did it go? That was probably that. Stupid. Sure.
New 13.
Yeah.
The Wheel of Fate is turning. Rebel 1. Action. Rebel 2. Action.
I don't know what the fuck that is. No clue what just happened.
Please select your character.
Oh my god, I don't... Can I not? God damn it. Don't want to be this character again. I'm pretty sure A and B are the exact same controls from, you know.
Tsubaki Yayoi. The Wheel of Fate is turning. Rebel 1. Action.
Oh. I'm sorry. I didn't realize it was player one.
Rebel 2. Action.
great.
Tsubaki win.
God, it's so fucking anime, man. These games, dude. Blaze Blue. This damn series.
Please select your character.
This is incredible. This is simply incredible. It's the likeliness of me getting like similar characters over and over and over, man.
Hibiki Kohaku. The wheel of fate is turning. Rebel 1. Action. 2. Action. 3.
Don't know, man. I think I'd much rather play Guilty Gear than this. There's a lot of stuff. It was just me just not wanting to really play Blaze Blue. That's fine. Whatever. What the fuck is that? ass characters that. Oh man.
Please select your character.
Ah, yes. You make this character look like the character I'd rather play as. Alright.
Izanami. The wheel of fate is turning. Rebel 1. Action. こっちに東京ね。砕け。再開よ。死ぬわよ。楽しませよ。どうかしら。すぐ見せよ。あくびが出るわ。楽しませよ。目障りだ。無礼な真似。こっちだ。
Everybody's weird.
無礼な真似を。こっち。無礼な真似を。目障りだ。行くぞ。押しつぶせ。さえずるな。ネフライト。なかなかに無礼な真似を。砕け。まさかこの程度じゃないわ。Rebel 2 Action はっ死ぬのに来なさい。無礼な真似を。目障りだ。砕け。まだ汚らわしい。死ぬ砕け。やるじゃない。あだってどんどんチョコマカとジャックセラズボのアメジストその手を見える。あくびが出る。砕け。こっちだ。再開よ。象をぶちまけよ。チョコマカ見える。こっち。こっちやるじゃない。バカこっち。身の程を知らぬと。Rebel 3 Action 逃がさないわよ。見えるか。死ぬわよ。こっちがいい東京ね。死ぬわよ。おろく。無礼なのよ。目障りだ。暗い。こっちだ。こっちにやるじゃない。どうか楽しませよ。無視。おのり。
What the fuck is this, dude? Where it says stock on the bottom, what is God, every character has some sort of weird gimmick in these games. It makes it so hard to learn anybody because like everybody can do something. It's almost that argument of like, oh, everybody's broken, but it's not necessarily that they're broken, they're just, everybody's weird. There's something weird. There's like no characters like, oh, this is the character. Maybe Ragna. I want to play as fucking Ragna. It wants to be Ragna. It wants to be... Every time I pick Ragna, from what I remember with this series, like, I don't want to be him. I want to be Soul Bad Guy from Guilty Gear. Oh, man. This guy right here. He looks just like the main character. Well, I guess he's not the main character, but the character I think of as the main character from Guilty Gear. But he's not him. When you play as him, you're like, oh, yes, this definitely isn't the same character. Hi. It's Pam. Hello. Sometimes I just want to be the Karate Man. This guy. No. No. They are both characters where I don't want to be them. I want to be the other people that they're inspired by. Oh, I gotta choose a color. My bad.
Kagura Mutsuki.
It's my pal Eric's favorite character.
Rebel 1.
Yo, why is my sword that big? Every character has a gimmick. I don't know what his is. I see he's got a sword that he holds back or press the whatever the D button is. I don't think I don't know. I'm going to put a lot of time into this game to feel anything for it. Not really enjoying this game, but again, I haven't enjoyed BlazBlue in a very long time, so I'm not surprised. It's like I didn't get it last time because I know that I don't really care for BlazBlue. But now I know for sure that I don't care for BlazBlue. It is official.
Please select your character. Bane Shishigami. Rachel Alucard.
Look at the things that they have. They both have little meters in the corner of the screen. They both have a weird gimmick. Because nobody in BlazBlue can just be a character. Which is fair. I mean, there's a million games where everybody's just the character. forgot about the stupid toads. These are characters that were there in the beginning. I remember these two. This wow, couldn't get up. Okay then. So I should have seen that coming. Why is it going slow? Man. Sweet. Jeez. What? That's the input I used last time to get that stupid special. No, it's double quarter circle forward. Okay. I see. I see. It's on me. very rare that I leave a game like that. I'm not really feeling BlazBlue. Which is not shocking, as I said before, is like not really a fan of BlazBlue because it's a little bit too gimmicky. Not really in the mood. Alright. I'm waiting to see what's next. Actually, let me run to the bathroom real quick. I'll be right back. So I just updated the title of the stream. This is the thing that I was talking about for too with the ambient noise, or if I adjust my filter, the mic stays on. It's picking up the heater. So I'm going to change the open threshold. I guess it's about here. We'll go to here and here. Okay, it looks like it's working all right. Okay. Where am I? Overlay with webcam. Well, that means that's the end of that. So, what are we playing now? Go back to the Steam Deck, or go to the PC. I got, what's it called? I never really got into that Indiana Jones game. I got Stalker. I got, oh man, all the old games. What to do? What to do? What to do? What to do? It looks like I might be going back over to here. I don't know why this thing does this. For some reason, when I switch over to the Steam Deck on my capture card, if it's on and I change the device, it's just a black screen. I'm pretty sure it's the capture card thing. Because I mean, it's pretty cheap. It's super cheap capture card. Okay. Anton Blast. Let's see. Library. No. I was playing Max Payne earlier for a minute before I started playing BlazBlue. We were planning on playing Guilty Gear. It's like, alright, okay, whatever, sure. Switched to BlazBlue, which I did not own, and then I bought the game knowing damn well I was like, I don't really care for this series. Oh man, whatever. All good. Rhythm Doctor. I wonder if the DLC for the Atari Collection's on sale. And that Atari Collection is so cool. This one right here. Let's see. Let's look. Sector. The fact that there is DLC for an Atari Collection is really funny. But I think it adds in more stuff, and I think one of the things that's like a benefit is I want to say that they got the right to like the Intellivision brand. So my bad, they got the rights to the Intellivision brand, so now they're able to do stuff like the first console war. And I think this has something too. I think I'm gonna go for these two because Berserk is in here, and I love Berserk. I wish I didn't like Berserk as much as I did, but I really do like that game. Let's see what the bundle costs. What is the bundle? $11.99. How could I resist? I'm gonna censor this. Hang on. Interesting. Whoops. Too many devices. Alright, let's check this out. I've had the shop music playing in the background this entire time, and it was giving me back flashbacks to hopping on the Wii. Like, it'd be payday, and I would hop on the Wii and just look at the shop, and it's like, oh wow, look, Castlevania came out this week. Here, take my $5 or whatever that game cost at the time. Those were good days. Like, back when DLC stuff was still exciting. Now there's just so many damn games all the time. Let's go to the store. Store home. There we go. Again, it's hard to navigate this right now because of the sale, but even then, man. Rain rolled downpour. So many games. Nine Souls is supposed to be pretty good, but I don't know, man. It's that price being $20 for a game that I don't really know much about other than like some people that review stuff in magazines say it's, or not magazines, but like websites and podcasts say it's good. But they can't articulate why it's good. They're more like, yeah, you know how some games are like this? Well, it's like that, but it's not like that. I'm like, that doesn't help me. It's not a really good description. It looks like it's this, but it's not this, but it's kind of like this too. What? There's Indiana Jones. He's searching for some stones. I like how Cyberpunk doesn't look like I own it, but I've owned Cyberpunk forever. I don't own the DLC thing that came out for it, whatever it's called. Waiting for this download to finish. We're getting close. Don't really have much I can look at in the meantime, because actually Steam does download in the background. Let's test that. The Atari collection should finish updating while I'm in here. Let's go home. This is my home. This is my video game home. This thing right here. This is the thing that makes me like every single day when I'm like, I should bring a, you know, if I'm going somewhere, I should bring a handheld with me or my Switch or the Steam Deck. It always comes down to this. And it's just the fact that I can go in here and I can play 118 games. And the Switch is great too. But I have Castlevania. We've got these games here, for example. I don't have to wait for them to possibly release a game. I can play Cruis'n USA now. DK Donkey Kong. I forgot I definitely played this recently. I was thinking I played Land of the Babes, but I don't have any of the PlayStation Duke Nukem games. Because I'm smart. I don't have any art for any of these games either. Interesting. I guess I'm not smart. Tomb Raider. PS2. Man, I'm I downloaded Karaoke Revolution and I want to see if it works. But I'm gonna have to test it out first with everything. See, okay, so one of the things about the Atari collection is that when you get, most of the time when they released Atari games on a collection, they'd be like, oh, here's like 100 Atari games. And you're looking and you just have a list like this, and it's kind of meaningless if you don't have any memories of the games. Like, it's gonna make you go to any of these, because you know they all have art that you know is misleading. Like, there's no way any game looks like this on Atari. What is this? Anyway, so you got a bunch of games that look like that. But when you have that Atari collection, they give you a little bit more context for what makes the games important, and they also put in some they put in like arcade versions of the games, like different versions, and they go way further than you'd expect. Like for me, the thing that shocked me was when I realized that they put like the Atari 800, like the PC games in there, and they also have Lynx games and stuff. Like you never get those games in collection. It's almost irresponsible. An irresponsible value. Stopped updating. I have to wait here for this. I guess I can scroll to the menus, but I can't load anything up. I need to try more strategy games on a controller. I installed Arma 3 last night because I bought Arma 3 in early access, and that game blew up because people really liked DayZ. When Arma 3 came out, like, oh man, I'm gonna get Arma so I can play DayZ 2, which never happened. They just did standalone DayZ. Axiom Verge, I think I played through that on Switch. Might have been on PC. Played it on PC. That game is pretty cool. I owned the second one, never got that far. Clock Tower. This is a game I bought literally because they came out. Just like I bought the Resident Evil 1 and 2 remakes. Not the remakes, the PC ports of the original versions of the game, like before the GameCube version came out. Bought those on GOG because I just thought it was really cool. I wanted 1 and 3. Didn't feel like having the ROMs on here at all. Optimus. Good. What do you mean? Why do I have to choose which version of an Atari collection I'm going to play? Interesting. Decisions, man. Do, 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 do. I thought about replaying the Wolfenstein 1 and 2, whatever, the new Colossus and the new whatever it's called. Colossus and I forgot what the other game's called. Whatever the sequel. These I have zero experience. But okay, so the thing that makes this collection cool. Usually when you get a collection of Atari games, it's set up like this. Where it's just a bunch of games. Scroll through and it's like, alright. And for me, what got me was like, it wasn't this, it was like I expected some arcade games to be in there. But you go here and you're like, alright, cool. But they have box art here. It's already neat. And they have, you know, just little like things about it. They're actually slipping in some other games here. There are unlockable games and they'll just have stuff like this. Waiting for it. But you go through here and we'll skip forward. Then I was like, yo, there's 5,200 games in this collection? Why? Why would you put these here? That's crazy. Oh, there's 7,800 games here? Definitely, why would you put these here? There's no reason for these to be here either. And then it keeps going. You're like, wait, what? Why are there Lynx games here? Oh wait, Atari 800. It's like it's a PC. What are we doing? And then you go all the way over here, and they have Fight for Life. Man, like they went so deep with it. This. The unfortunate thing about this collection though is that I think like this was the first one that they did. Who is this? Is this Digital Extremes or whoever had published this or whatever? This is the first one that they did. It was part of their, what do they call it, like the gold box series or whatever. And it's hard to go from here. You start at the top and everything else has just been like interesting but not quite the same. um they also do this cool thing here. So the thing that makes this collection cool, it's not just the games that are in here, which is neat enough already, but it's giving the games context. Got like this explain, the origins of Atari. They have, you can view the models and stuff like that. There will also be more information. So you've got interviews with people. You've got the business card they had when they first started. There's also interviews. I'm gonna go ahead and play one of these. But you don't like, if you notice when I played I think it was the Street Fighter collection. It's so bare bones.
I'm looking through the San Jose Mercury in the just random stuff section.
Not George Lucas.
And I see world's first video game computer space. No price, just call. I'm like, wow, I'm pretty interested in this. So I called the guy. I said, so you got a computer space? Yeah. He goes, yeah. First game ever. Okay, great. What color is it? And he goes, well, what color do you want? I'm like, wow, this is getting very interesting, because who has a whole bunch of computer spaces and who would know that they came in all these different colors? He goes, I got a yellow, a solid blue, metal flake blue, and metal flake red. And he goes, a whole bunch of other games too. Okay, great. Want to come up and see them. These were in a Quonset hut on a sunflower seed farm off of Highway 80 in Dixon, California, halfway between, the Bay Area and Sacramento. And these things hadn't been moved in, probably since 1975. And so I got in touch with Nolan and showed him the pictures and scratched his head, and then like a light bulb went off in his head. He goes, these were Ted Dabney's. These were Ted Dabney's units. This was his route. When he left, he took a route that we had, and he goes, this yellow one's the first one. He goes, I know it. That yellow one is the very first one. I kept the first one, which is a beautiful yellow computer space, and I kept Pong number 46, and we got the rest of them running and working as good as we could. We got it all for $5,000. I don't regret the purchase one bit. Not for a minute.
Yeah, it's cool hearing interviews like that, and then you get credit for like completing. There's a button on here that says play. I don't know what that means. Really weird. There's no, I guess you can't really emulate computer space. I think it's all hardware based. Play game. Controlling both paddles, which is really dumb. There was a version of Pong a long time ago. Physics-based game where you were playing Pong, but there were like particles that you were shooting. You could influence the table, and the table will kind of change colors. This is like a super early, like, what you call it? I guess like a flash game, maybe. I don't think it was a flash game though. Birth of Pong. Puppy Pong. All in like doctor's office. Kids, Pong doubles.
You know what the Atari motto is? Innovative leisure, right? Well, it didn't say innovative arcade games. It didn't say innovative video games. It said innovative leisure. It was broad from day one. I mean, Nolan always had a consumer game in his mind because that's what he hired me to do. And I wound up doing the wrong thing and making a hit coin-op game, right? When I was at Ampex, I learned how to make sync generators, synchronizing, the basic fundamental circuit necessary to get a TV signal, because we had to generate an analog signal. So you do that and you get the ball at one speed and you put paddles up, and it's a very, very boring game. And so I added the speed up and I added the angles off of that, just, you know, to make it playable, interesting. And so it started getting a little interesting. That's cute. And Nolan said, well, it's got to have score. We had a pretty good game, and hey, great. So what are you going to do for sound? I go, sound? I'm already over budget. What am I going to do? Nolan said, well, I want the sound of a roar of a crowd of thousands applauding your win. And Ted said, I want boos and hisses. And I'm thinking, how do I do that? Listen, I got video. I got the goddamn game up. Now you wanted me to do this. I'll be right back. So I was pissed around for a day and poked around sounds that already existed in the vertical sync generator and gated them out with the 555 timer. I love it. Years later, the sound is so well thought out and so appropriate. It was like, are you kidding me? It was just, you know, just thrown together in spite of what the boss said. And so that was how Pong came to be.
So everybody's heard the Pong story. Probably everybody's heard the Pong story, but I've heard it many times, and from Al Alcorn himself, who designed Pong. So,
the story I've heard is that they installed one of the first Pong machines in a tavern and let people play it as a test.
Put it out into an arcade and see if it makes money. I mean, that's the market research.
My understanding was Ted built a cabinet, a tabletop, simple cabinet over the weekend. And a coin mech bolted to the side of the cabinet, tabletop type of big thing was sit on a barrel.
Placing a interactive video machine somewhere and having people play it was still a relatively new concept. Nobody knew if it was going to go.
Oh, what is the name of the bar in Palo Alto?
San Jose?
No, it was Andy Caps.
It was Santa Clara?
Sunnyvale.
So we'll put it in Andy Caps. You know, it's a coin-op game, be it fragile and humble. And so we did.
Well, my memory is that he gets a phone call, the game's busted, which of course is the usual thing you get on a support line. It doesn't work. What is it, and in what way does it not work? Well, it doesn't work.
The bar owner or manager at the time kind of yelled at them and like accused them of their game being shoddy because it had already broken down and it was no longer functioning or working.
And they get a call, you know, later on that night and like, hey, this thing broke, you know. Come and pick up this piece of shit game and get it out of here. You know, this thing broke. You know, I'm not gonna waste my time fixing this crap.
But anyway, the machine, we got the word that it stopped working, and I figured it could be anything, and I'd go out there and take a look at it. And so I went to the machine, and the first thing you do is you want to try to play the game, because the machine was on in a tracked mode, so it was working, but you couldn't start a game. So you open up the coin box to basically flip the micro switch to give yourself a free game, because I'm not going to waste a quarter, you know.
And so they went down to see what's wrong with the machine to fix it, and what they found out was that it wasn't broken. It was just that so many people had played it, they'd filled the coin box with quarters, and it was jammed, and it couldn't take any more.
So many people had played it
that it couldn't accept any more money.
The game is broken because it's stuffed so full of quarters.
Completely stuffed with quarters.
And it was a small, I remember it was kind of small, if I remember, it was a small space. It just filled up with the quarters and it wouldn't take it.
When I opened up the coin mech, you know, all these quarters just gushed out. So, whoa, that's impressive.
It's the equivalent of like crashing a server. When you launch a new website and it's so popular. So they crashed the server on Pong.
And one of the other reasons it was also so popular is because you could play it with one hand while you're still holding a pint in your other hand. And that also was one of those things that, you know, eventually many, many years later led to the rise of the fun barcades that we have, you know, and we can enjoy now.
As Al will always say with a little, you know, twinkle in his eye, he goes, "This is a problem I can fix."
Basically, the way it worked was you take the money, the deal you have, and you split the take with the owner of the bar. And so I did that, and I had this sack of quarters, and the next day I come into work and I said, I got the machine fixed, and here's the problem. Goddamn thing's making too much money. And they'll went, really?
But it was one of those great moments where something that supposedly was failing was actually such a huge success that no one could recognize. It was truly the ugly duckling version of technology.
Because remember, Nolan thought, he was like, this is just a placeholder until we get to design the really good game, because who's going to play this stupid shit-ass game?
They went on to produce all of these classic, memorable arcade titles for years that allowed the company to survive and be so much more than a one-hit wonder. So that's my understanding of the history of Pong.
It's a great story if it's true.
When a story is good, you know there's some doubt about it. Like, oh, that's too good to be really true. It's probably a boring version of it that's actually true.
You know, it sounds realistic to me. You know, I mean, I've kind of seen that happen in my own. And when you do get a really great game, the coins will just overflow, and you know, it's kind of a cool feeling.
Anyway, that's how that all happened. Yeah. Anyway.
I mean, Atari really, why were they in the pinball business? You know, here they had this tiger by the tail of video games, you know, just this supernova of creativity and possibilities. And, you know, they were nailing it left and right, creating new genres every other week. Why would you mess around with pinball? You could tell our games were just not working, you know, and due to reliability, poor engineering, you know, thermal issues, issues of the games just falling apart, poor hardware design. You know, it just, I could see the writing was on the wall that we were going to go down. I mean, the pinball division was just a massive disaster. I mean, it was, you know, it's kind of the, you know, kind of the hubris of, you know, I guess Silicon Valley, even in that era, you know, was like, oh, these morons in Chicago, they make these crappy old games, you know, like, you know, we're going to redesign everything. We're going to put the display down in the bottom. We're going to, you know, put the boards, you know, underneath the play field so all the crap falls in and shorts out the things. And I mean, it was really horrific design, and they caught on fire. The solenoids, they used this thing called rotary solenoids, which burned up and the screws fell out. And, you know, it was kind of a, you know, just a complete disaster as far as like design and also testing. And so there was a lot of games that caught on fire in the early days. So, but they made a lot of money when they were working. You know, I think the programming was awesome because I did it. You know.
You will hear stories of hot tubs in the lobby and drug use in the office, and I'm here to tell you that none of that happened in my department.
We started smoking pot right in our office. Rob and I were like the premier pot. Sorry, Rob. I and some other person who occasionally shared an office with me for 5 years at Atari, however that frickin' worked, we would just fire up right in the office. It's like, who knows why? It's like, this is like, it's illegal. It's like, it wasn't even a sense of privilege. It was just mindlessness.
I worked in a satellite office. I started in 1977, which was still pretty early. It was only 18 months since the 2600 came out. But there was no hot tub in the lobby of the office that I went to. There was no drug use in Atari, though I don't doubt that it was over where Howard and Todd Fry were working.
Drugs were consumed at Atari by all kinds of people at all levels of management, from the bottom to the top and all over engineering. Not everybody did drugs, but some people did, and some people enjoyed them, and some people abused them, and some people went to the hospital on them. And but by and large, drugs were a relatively nominal factor. Drugs, you know, there was a lot of marijuana, and it participated a lot in brainstormings. So we had the way of, you know, trying to incorporate drugs into our productivity model.
I went home and I smoked a joint, a little bit of cocaine and a little bit of psilocybin in it. And I was sitting there, it was about half gone when I realized, oh, you could do that. And it's like I put it out and I went and I wrote a page of notes. And my design for that kernel was exactly what it ended up shipping. It was like, it has a tremendous amount of effort, actually, to get everything organized.
You know, they did have good deliveries of cannabis in the inter-office mail. You know, that was probably the primary use of those yellow manila envelopes. So I think it was, you know, Fridays or Monday. I think it was Fridays when you get these really thick envelopes coming through the system. And, you know, and it was weird. It was like there was a guy working there, and his job was he was the weed dealer. You know, that was his sole job at the whole company.
And there was a very straight German VP of hardware down the hallway in the building. I have no idea. He complained to management about the smell of pot smoke in the corridors. So they got him an office in a different building.
I have been asthmatic since I've been 12. I need drugs to breathe. I did not do drugs because drugs to me were something that let you get up in the morning, you know, and breathe. So and nor did I think I wanted to mix those things. The high of me was doing the work, and I was always a happy guy. So I just didn't feel I needed it. So I never did drugs, but there were a lot there.
Don't put too much stock in the fact that every Atari employee was stoned out of their minds while making games.
I mean, there was all kinds of drugs consumed at Atari, but the real drug at Atari was going into a store and seeing your product, seeing your game on a shelf.
Okay, I'm here. I want to check out some of this stuff here. This is the DLC stuff. It even gives you a completion percentage for doing this. So from what I understand, some people were complaining about this because clearly you got some like art Atari age or something. That's a I wish I could rotate it. some of these games, when you see them with like old games like this, old arcade games in particular, like the game itself might not necessarily be special. So when you play it on an emulator, like what's the appeal here? Sometimes it's just like when you play on the cabinet itself, it's like a whole experience. Doesn't do a perfect job, but like, is it MUVR and New Retro Arcade do a pretty good job of like letting you kind of have that experience in VR. Whatever. Two-game module head-to-head. Crazy. Oh, they've got both versions. You can rotate these. Got the home version and the arcade version. All these machines look so pretty. Like the controls, like they're so like simple too. This game? It is. Okay. It must have just been sold in that box because it's an indie publishing label. Man. This is pretty much what's it called? Kaboom. Whatever the other game. You just get the one. Oh, it's player 1 and player 2, I see. Damn. Trackballs for air traffic cost $350 to $8, man. For too expensive. And it will use joystick. So we came up with trackball we know and love. Still more expensive joystick, so there's still some griping. But my griping was, no, the game's not worth doing. Do it with a track. Is this just head-to-head? Okay, my dog's over here eating something. Hang on. Bothering me. And got a big piece of chicken in his mouth. Okay. Well, sure. Absolutely. Signed out on here, so I don't get the alerts here. Okay.
must not escape. Destroy the humanoid. Intruder alert, intruder alert. Humanoid, got the intruder. Shoot the humanoid. Destroy the intruder. Intruder alert, intruder.
Oh man, I could have just left it alone. Yeah, I got a soft spot for that game. It's a game that, like, when it goes good, can go really, really, really good.
The intruder must not escape.
It's Evil Auto. Oh boy. And I saw that laser shooting, I was like kind of panicked.
Fight like a robot. Humanoid, got the intruder. The intruder must not escape. Shoot him. Humanoid, got the intruder. Intruder alert, intruder alert. The humanoid must not escape. Intruder alert. The humanoid. The intruder must not.
We're doing alright.
Humanoid, got the intruder.
Game is so good. Berserk is a class. Berserk is one of those games you're like, oh, why would you play any Atari game? You see something like that and you're like, hmm. Start playing it, you're like, good.
The main theme of Berserk, as I understand it, and as I've always understood it, is basically you're one of the last humans trying to escape this prison inhabited by robots. Because there's this character in the game called Evil Auto, and he bounces at you with this smiley face, but it's so sinister because all he's really trying to do is just pulverize you to like nothing. And he comes at you so aggressively. Even back in the day, the story got around really fast that somebody died playing Berserk.
The rumblings of rumors when it got out, like, oh my gosh, someone died while playing Berserk. They must have, I don't know if the game shot back at them. I don't know what happened.
And I think that added to the mystique of the game, because could this game kill you? But in reality, as far as I understand, it was somebody who actually had a heart condition who happened to be playing Berserk when an episode occurred, but that of course got embellished to this game will kill you.
I remember Berserk coming out for the 2600 and I was very impressed. The characters were very simple, but moved exactly like the arcade. The gameplay was great. I thought it was one of the great Atari cartridges, up there with Space Invaders in that time frame of arcade ports.
One of my favorite games on the 2600 happened to be Berserk. I thought it was really well produced. It didn't look like other Atari games where they flickered a lot. The characters were really solid, everything looked great, and it was a really great representation of the arcade game.
Yeah, the gameplay was well tweaked, which is not given the credibility that it should. The amount of tweaking that gameplay requires to make an excellent game, to make a truly great game, it's unappreciated.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
is it?
When I was learning, or basically teaching myself how to program the Atari 2600, as one does, I started to dabble with audio, and I had seen somebody had replicated synthesized voice on the 2600. And so that kind of occurred to me that it would be really cool to take that approach and that concept and apply it to Berserk to have the perfect version of Berserk for the Atari 2600. That set in motion my desire to just like pursue relentlessly putting voice into 2600 Berserk. And then my understanding of the arcade game is there's a specific speech synthesis chip that was used for the game. And to compare that to the 2600, there's no such thing on the 2600. And so in order to get speech to even sound similar to that chip, you have to apply all of Atari 2600's resources to it. So in order to get the sample to play back fast enough, you have to do things like don't display the screen. So the screen goes black so you can get a cleaner and more audible sound out of the processor, the sound processor. Some of the changes that I had applied to the game early on were mostly palette related and some graphical changes. Also added a title screen. I always felt that like later Atari 2600 games that had title screens were really cool, so I wanted us to feel like those. But ultimately that was where my work ended. But then the community hopped in after that release, and Dennis DeBro particularly found out by disassembling the game that there was actually code for the robots to shoot diagonally like in the arcade game. I found it fascinating that after I dabbled a little bit with Berserk to watch other people go in and find all these other things within the source code that I missed completely, and started to apply that to like what would become ultimately Berserk Voice Enhanced.
I've seen this game title, but I've never actually tried. Shootout. What do they think of it?
Robot attack.
Don't know what I was expecting there.
Robot attack. Robot.
trying to get everybody killed. Hmm.
Robot attack. Robot attack. Shit. Robot attack.
Oh no. Oh my goodness, you move pretty fast. I like that change. The fact that some of the walls bounce your bullets. You think. Clearly, it doesn't make me think. It gets me killed. Terrible. I played this. All this dude, and I still missed it. Oh. Oh, what? Shoot. Oh, shoot. Damn. Oh. Over here playing against Larry. And it's so hard to get it. And scored a point. did I jump? What? Damn. Stolen again. Gosh, the dude's just right there. Oh man. I scored. Okay. That's the... Can't move it. Got it. Close enough to overgone. Oh my god. All right. Beautiful. On the receiver. Disappointing, man. How am I supposed to... Whatever. Has to do somebody. That seems cool.
developed this joystick, which is just a stick coming up, and you can move it with the Atari in 8 different directions: forward, backward, left, right, and then the 4 diagonals. And that controlled the object on the screen. Mattel decided to go better than that. Mattel controller is a rectangle with this disc on the bottom, a round disc, but 12 buttons over it. Anyway, what the disc was, you can press it in any of 16 directions, and that controlled what goes on the screen. If you're used to a joystick, it's difficult to work with it.
I didn't like the controller. I didn't like the controller. I didn't like it.
I mean, a joystick with a button, that feels like a video game. This other one felt like an accounting package.
The Intellivision had the bad interface versus the joystick. Things like that were just things you would argue over all the time.
It felt maybe even like the games were very soft. They weren't edgy.
I'd say visually the Intellivision looked a lot better, but also the 2600, because of its requirement for drawing the screen, meant that every game had to run at 60 frames per second.
Like even today we had discussions like, can we get to 60 frames a second? And like every Atari game that exists is 60 frames a second, because if they didn't, they have to hit that or the screen won't draw, you know? So no Atari game has any sort of lag or anything, because they had no option to have lag.
How many 2600 games were made? 600 in the original few years of the console? That was possible because the software controlled everything, and in the Intellivision, the hardware did what it could do and nothing else.
Out of all the systems I've worked on, the one actually that kind of bested me was the Intellivision, because it's such a unique architecture.
The instruction set for the Intellivision was not an 8-bit instruction set. General Instruments made it 10 bits wide. So when we wrote instructions, we had more opportunities, more things we could do in assembly language because it was 10 bits wide. Basically, it just means we had a book with more pages listing the dictionary of what we could do.
You hear stories about how some engineers just couldn't quite get the Intellivision to do what they wanted. And the reason some of the games are slower is because that understanding of that architecture is very challenging. So games could run really fast on the Intellivision. You just had to do it a certain way. And most people tried to approach programming the Intellivision like they would the Atari 2600 or an old 8-bit computer. They thought that's the way you should do it. But in fact, the Intellivision has a very specific way you should be creating games for it.
So it was made with newer technology. And with that technology, they were capable of making more resolution of backgrounds, more colors, not necessarily better colors, but more sprites. I think they could put 8 sprites on the screen.
The Intellivision itself, because they started work on it about 2 years after Atari had started work on the VCS, it had more advanced chips. And so where the Atari was using a 6502 chip, which is a very basic and because of its simplicity, a powerful chip for its time. We were using a GI 1610 chip, which had 16-bit logic in it as opposed to 8-bit. Everybody says, oh, 8-bit, 16-bit. Well, Intellivision was kind of 3 different kinds of bits. We were very confusing.
The thing is, once we programmers started doing tricks and making the Atari 2600 do things that it was not supposed to do, we ended up with more sprites than the Intellivision. I did a game called Freeway, and Freeway had 10 moving sprites on the screen.
In many cases, a lot of engineers that were on the Atari went to Intellivision and vice versa. And then many engineers that went out to third parties like Activision and whatnot would end up working on multiple platforms. So they'd work on Intellivision and Atari.
I mean, I was at a CES one day showing Pitfall, and the Intellivision programming crew came around. I remember just kind of standing behind them, and they were saying, how do you make a swinging vine that would use all 8 of our sprites? There would be nothing left for Pitfall Harry. And so the swinging vine is a trick. It's a programming trick. And without it, Pitfall doesn't exist.
All the companies in the Bay Area particularly that were working on Atari and Intellivision games were told not to intermingle, not to hang out with people from the other companies because of company secrets being let loose, and nobody wants anybody to know what anybody else is working on.
But occasionally, the programmers would run into each other in the mall, and one of them would say, I finally figured out how you did that thing, you know, or whatever. So there was a little bit of interconnection.
But then hearing that they would all get together for beers at people's houses and play the games they're working on with everybody. And so it was like completely opposite of what they were asked to do. But it was a way for them all to keep sane and also to help each other out. Because once everybody was able to share what they had, even though they weren't supposed to, it really helped everybody understand like how they could improve their games and all stuff with all these great designers in the area.
そこもとそれがし力ばまさらに参るぞ。 ちありだったまた来るがいいそこもとの you